the second resource person, a person from Telangana, who received his PhD from the Abdul Rahman Wilson Institute of Science and Technology in Chennai. He has 7 years of experience in teaching and has published more than 20 papers in international journals. Along with that, he has presented so many papers in international and national conferences. He has edited a book, a special issue in a journal, and also has 2 patents in his credit. In the present scenario, he is serving as an associate editor in Ieee and reviewer in various other reputed journals. It is so delightful to invite Dr. Samir Balsa to this scenario. Over to you, sir.
And all present here. I'm very much thankful to who provided me a chance to deliver a talk over here. So in addition, I'll be discussing and how to post the page. I'm going to post the page. Two of them come. Okay, and technically how to write a paper, and when a student will join as a research scholar, he'll be having, so once he's going to meet professor or the supervisor, immediately he or she will to go for a literature review or a survey. Okay, so there he'll start getting confused. What actually is a survey? What actually is literature review? What actually is a, what are the things I need to do in literature? What are the things to do in literature? And will get publishing. Send your papers, so many journals getting rejected and getting rejected. Basically, is the reason for all those things, because nobody wants his or her paper after 6 months. So it's really painful after 1 year, after 9 months. Okay. And when the journals are limited in number, like if you say English number, and if you see other science, there are a lot of science related to management and all, but if you see social science, English and all those very limited. So let us see what actually is the difference in one sentence.
Sorry, sir, your voice is not clear, sir.
1 second, ma'am. I'll change my position. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear? Is it clear, ma'am? Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. We'll start with the difference between the literature review and a literature survey. It's a very, very confusing question. So if I have to sum up literature review and the survey, if I have to sum up the difference between in one sentence, I will say that when we see the literature review, it's an extensive work. Okay, you have to study a lot of papers. Okay, when we talk about survey, we can simply go through a few number of papers. Okay, that is the basic difference between the literature review and the literature survey in a layman's term. In a literature review, you are going extensively through a lot of literature. You are checking the technicality of those papers. For example, if you are going to write any literature review paper, okay, if your supervisor will ask you to write a literature review, almost you have to give 150 references over that. Then only it will be called as a literature review. Why? Because extensive study is there. You have to study a lot of papers. You have to study the technical things in those papers and what are the critical issues they have catch in those papers. You actually have to gather the metadata. Metadata basically is what? The data about the data. Okay, the data what you are collecting it for the papers you are actually reading and the knowledge you are actually getting, and you are writing it down. Okay, and these are the metadata actually will contain the technical things. It will compare when you study 10 papers, you will compare all those papers among each other, the technical things over there, the kind of accuracy those papers are getting, and the kind of issues those papers are revolving around. Okay, and if there is any future work in in any paper, okay, you are gathering each and every information in literature review. Okay, survey is a small survey. It can be of few papers also. Okay, you don't need to go through 50 to 100 papers. You don't need to collect the most technical data. Even if you are picking up one single review paper, you can write a survey about that paper, that single paper also. Okay, since it's actually a standard part of doing the research. Okay, it's actually where people are thinking that your research will begin. Once you have completed your coursework and all, so your supervisor immediately will tell you that you go for a literature survey or a review. Okay, so in order to, yes, Jason. So one important term here in the literature review, extensive study is there. You have to study a lot. You have to study each and every part of that particular paper which you are reading. And survey is simply where you are simply analyzing and summarizing the things, and you are trying to fetch any novel concept from that. Okay, from top only, if I say that you are checking out a creamy layer, that is the survey, and when you go deep, that is actually the review. Okay. So what are the things that we need? What kind of skills we need in order to write literature survey or any kind of paper? Okay, since we were talking about the literature survey and the literature review, okay, let me start with this one itself, that if anybody want to start his journey or her journey with the literature review paper, okay, being a reviewer and an associate editor of so many journals, the criteria over there is we have to see the design of the paper also. Okay, the journal criteria is whether the paper will fall according as per the theme of the journal, whether it will fall in their category, and grammatical, that's okay, grammatical mistakes and all, even though the journal people they will correct it, but the design of the research paper is must. If your design is weak, your paper can get rejected itself. Okay, so before you'll start writing any literature review paper, you need to do certain tasks. You need to properly design your paper. Okay, how you are going to design your literature survey paper or any other paper? Let us give an example here of literature review only. First of all, we actually frame the research questions, actually what we are searching. And one more thing I want to tell you, that this literature review will become a base for your problem statement. Tomorrow, if you are going to show any problem, if you are going to deliver a talk like in your Viva or in your DC meetings or synopsis meetings, okay, you will show that your problem statement and your objective. Your problem statement will get a support from this literature review itself. Okay, so while writing any paper also, if you are coming up with any problem, any novel problem, new or old one, or you are having a combination of the problems, while writing papers also, you have to give a support to those problems in the literature review. So you have to discuss all those problems. So while writing the itself, how to design a paper, normally you start with the abstract. Okay, then you will go with the introduction of that page. Okay, and then we can have this research methodology. In research methodology, actually what we will do, that we will frame some research questions. As far as literature review is concerned, we will frame some questions that we actually want to be answered. Okay, then you have to check what is your population, where you are gathering all. Okay, then what are all the techniques which are involved in those papers? What is the data set they have gathered? What are all the features they have extracted? What methods they have used? What algorithms they have used? Okay, then you are comparing. Then you are comparing the various approaches. Normally in literature review, you should try to give one a tabular format. There you should write, this is the paper, this is its publisher. In this paper, the author is talking about this particular thing. In this paper, the author has used this very technique. Okay, the conclusion of the paper is this. Or if you can write any disadvantage also, you can write it. Or if from your point of view, author has not touched um, any particular thing also. Okay, if you are well known about that thing, that he could have done it, you can mention that one also. Okay, so that tabular format will actually give if for a reviewer, actually if any reviewer will see that tabular format, it will be easy for him to check how much extensive data you have collected. If you are writing everything in as a theory, okay, again they have to go through that part also. But this will give an advantage to your paper, because the reviewer will immediately, instead of going through the theoretical portion, he will check your tabular data itself. From that he can get one idea. Okay, then you are going with the outcomes of the paper. Okay, how we are framing the, what kind of research questions and how you are going to write your research questions, and what kind of answers you are going to collect. These are some of the questions I have framed for one hypothetical system. You will see the first question is, what are the data sets available for a research on like any recommender system? Okay, on any dash dash system, I'll say recommender system. Okay, the answer for this question will provide us an information how many data sets are available currently. Okay, and the domain where actually they have been used. Okay, and how we can access that data set. If you see the second part of this research question, what are all the features extracted for the assessment of essays? If you see the third question, what are all the machine learning techniques used for automating a system? Okay, if I'm going to study 50 papers, I'll check what are all the techniques they have used. What are their advantages? What are their disadvantages? What is their accuracy percentage? Okay, whether we can frame group among those papers or not, among those techniques or not. Okay, research question 4. What are all the challenges and the limitations in the current research? So this is the question which will provide the base for your problem statement. What are the challenges and the limitations? Because if you are going to find out so many challenges, as far as your PhD program is concerned, you are not going to overcome all those challenges. Say for example, you are going to overcome 1 or 2 challenges. Rest of the challenges will be your future work also. If you have found out that there are some 5 challenges, if anybody is doing stock market, if anybody is working on a stock market and he or she has searched some 10 challenges or 5 challenges, okay, they're not going to overcome all the challenges. You have to narrow down your research and you have to work on a specific thing. Okay, so rest of the things you can keep with you, you can show them as a future work also. Okay, so whenever you are getting these limitations and the challenges from your literature review, that will become the base for your problem statement. Then only your problem statement of your research is valid. Why? Because it is having a backend. At the backend, it's having all the research, all the review you have done. So this is as far as the research questions you have to frame. Okay. Then you have to check search process. How you are going to search all those papers. Okay. Because giving a query on a Google will not fetch you all the relevant. You should know how to give a query. Okay, then searching process is there, how you have searched and where you have searched, which publisher you have taken into account. Okay, for example, Springer is there, elsewhere. Okay, those are high-end journals, high-class journals. Okay, very famous journals. Okay, so this will also impact your writing as well as your paper acceptance or the rejections. If you are gathering the papers, because these publishers, they will publish good research and novel research, okay, where researchers and scientists from all over the world. So if you have gathered your research material for your literature review from these kind of publishers, so your data is valid then. Your data will be considered valid. So this is another one more process after framing the research question, that the search process, where you have searched your material. Okay, and I have given one more thing over there, search string. What string you have, what query you have written. Okay, like for example, I have written automated grading. or automated scoring. Okay, automated grading will fetch me some of the papers, but it won't fetch me the papers which automated scoring will fetch. Okay, so every time you have to use a different kind of search string. Okay, so automated grading, automated scoring is there, short answer scoring is there, scoring system is there, automatic evaluation is there. Okay, so once you are trying with different kind of search string, okay, you are not doing a lot of changes, but small changes you are doing in your string. Okay, it will fetch you more and good number of papers. Okay, so this is one more important thing, that while searching the papers, you should not get stuck with one particular query. Okay, first of all, you should know what kind of query you have to write, how you have to write a query, what are all the main keywords in your query so that it can fetch. Like I'll give you an example. For example, there are some scholars who are writing big titles for their manuscripts. Okay, but they will forget all those things, that tomorrow they need citation for their paper. Their paper should be easily that available through the Google search engine also, or other search engine also. If your titles are very, I don't say that it should be too much simple, but if it is very short and if it contains like some proper keywords which people are using commonly, okay, so you are having great chances, good chances are there that tomorrow your paper will be get more citations. Why? Because it will be easily available through a search in any queries, whichever query you are writing. If my paper is having very technical title and it's more than 20 words, so I think it chance that the people search that kind of paper also. Because you can see here the examples of our queries: automatic grading, automated scoring. With such small string, okay, our search engine is not going to fetch us the long title papers. So this is more technique while writing any article or literature, whatever you are writing. Then after you have downloaded, like you have downloaded 150 papers. Now what to do with papers? Now you have to go for a selection criteria for the quality check of those papers. You have to check now what kind of papers I should include in my bibliography or in my research. If I'm writing the literature review, if I'm trying to find out certain problem, so what kind of now papers I should include. I'm having 150 papers. Now I want to include only 70, 80 or 90 papers. Okay. What would be those papers and which papers I should reject? For that, you have to make a criteria. For here, like we have given a criteria, the inclusion criteria. Our approach is to work with the data set. I want the papers where people have mostly used the data sets. So I will try to find out those papers where data sets are used. Okay. If I am done with 10, 20, 30 papers who have used the data sets, so one of my criteria is over. Then inclusion criteria 2. I want to see the papers where artificial intelligence approach has been used with the traditional methods or with the new methods. Why? Because it will tell me which kind of algorithm has been used, which kind of algorithm has not been used. Okay, my second criteria is over. The third criteria is we include the research carried out only on text data. Rather than, for example, if I'm getting papers where stock market pricing is given, okay, it doesn't deal with the pricing of these airfares. Okay, it doesn't deal with the pricing of any other thing. Okay, like for example, in my case, if I'll go with the computer science, I would like to have a textual data rather than the picture data. Okay, so that I can segregate those two. I will see wherever the textual data has been given, I'll take those data sets on. This is one more criteria. And the exclusion criteria, the papers you are going to reject, who will be those papers? What kind of papers will be the papers who you are going to reject? Okay, we remove the papers in the form of review papers, survey papers, and the state of art papers. So if I have downloaded any survey paper, I will remove it. If I have downloaded any review paper, I won't include it. So if you have downloaded overall 150 papers, out of 150 you are rejecting, you are putting them in the exclusive criteria. They are of no use for you. Okay, so then you can go with these selection criteria 1, 2, 3. You are done with another. So this actually give one design to your writing itself. So on the basis of for all these papers, we have to check the quality. So what kind of quality assessment you have done? Okay, already I have told you some of the papers I have taken where data set is available or not. Then I will see which data set is more. For example, if I'm having a data set like 50,000 data is there, another is having 20,000 data only, another is having 30,000 data only, another having 10,000 data only. So I will give them points. More the data set, I will give higher ranking. Okay, so those journals, those papers will be of high priority for. So once you are done with the quality paper, then you will quality assessment based on the internal and the external validity. Then you will start answering your questions. Then your actual paper will start. You will start writing your paper. So after abstract and after this introduction, you will directly go for the methodology. In the methodology, you will raise some questions and you will tell where from you are going to collect all those papers. You will show the searching process, how you have searched all those papers. Then you will go for the quality assessment, then what kind of papers you have rejected. After that, you will start answering your questions with the help of those papers which you have already done, which are with you, which you have sorted out. Question number 1 is this. Now you try to read all those papers which can answer your first question. You try to read out and write the second answer for the second question, third, and so on. So at the end, you will write a conclusion, and it will this one, the problem statement will be valid when you are giving this kind of design to your paper, and at the end, in the conclusion, you are saying we are going to work on this problem as per the literature review. Literature review as a top. So it is having one particular design also. So your paper design is also must. So once you are writing your papers, at the end you are writing the bibliography. Okay. People are saying we are giving citations. See, there is one more problem while writing the paper. You have to take care of the plagiarism. Plagiarism is a very serious concern. It's a very serious issue nowadays. And as far as our UGC and MHRD is concerned, they are allowing only 10% of the similarity. That it means if we are going to check anybody's manuscript, it should generate a similarity value, that your text is matching with some other documents. The matching percentage should be 10 only or less than 10. If it is above 10, there are so many punishments for scholars as well as for the faculty, which we will see later on what actually it is. Okay. So in citation, what actually you are giving, you are trying to give a due credit to the particular person whose paper you have read, you got some idea, and you have written down on in your manuscript. That is what we call the citation. That this paper has been, this idea I got from this one, or this saying has been taken from this very particular paper. If you are not doing so, it means you are going towards plagiarism, because stealing ideas is a plagiarism. If the idea is not your own, if it is some other author has already written about this idea and you are taking this idea and you are trying to write this idea in your own words also, but the idea will remain same, then again it will come under the plagiarism also, which you will see. I'll show you the examples of the plagiarism also. So anyway, citation is what? Simply you are giving the credit to the author. You are writing his paper name, in which journal it was published, what is the page number of that paper. You are writing all the details of it. And you also will be following certain kind of citation styles in your papers. So while writing a paper, you have to give a reference, but you don't know which kind of journal you are going to send your paper. Okay, so your paper will follow certain kind of citation styles. One is APA style, one is MLA style, one is Chicago style, there is IEEE style. These are the major citation styles, which major of the journals, most of the journals will follow these kind of styles only. Okay, so let us see what actually is APA style. It was created by American Psychological Association. Okay, and here no distinction is made whether the text has been taken from book whether you have you have taken the text from the journal article or the internet document. I'll show you actually the structure of this APS citation style. See, on top it is written in text. In text means when you are writing the body of the text, body of the text you have to mention the author name, the year of publication, and the page numbers within the braces. You can see braces is there, that you have to write within the text. So in the bibliography, you have to give a citation like servant D dot comma and Pevin LA. Then you have to give a year of publication. Then the title of that particular paper. If it is a book, you have to tell which edition it is. Then the publisher name. Okay, this style, that in text and the reference style, this style belongs to APA, American Psychological Association. So if you are going to send your paper and that journal will ask you to give your citations in APA style, you have to frame your references like this, and in the body of the text also you have to write it in terms of author, year, and the page number. Then we'll go with the MLA style, modern language association style. It is mostly used in for humanities and the language and the literature. Okay, let us see the structure of this citation style. It will simply ask you the first name of the author name, author surnames, and the page number. In the MLS style, it was asking us year also, but here it won't ask us the year in the text body. Okay. Then in the reference, it will ask us author names. Then title of the paper, it is italic. It is italic. The title of the paper is italic. Then the edition of the book, then the publisher of the book, then the year of publication. In the previous case, the year of publication was in the middle. In MLS style, the year of publication is at the end. Okay, so if you are you should carefully choose, because it's a very hectic process. If you are sending your paper to a journal, you don't know what style actually it is following, and if that journal is asking you to write in a proper format like MLS style, you are writing MLS style. Now your paper is getting rejected. Now you are sending it to another journal. They are following APA style. They'll ask you to change the APA style. Again, if you have like 100 references in your manuscript, you have to change the style of 100. So it's a very painful process. Okay, it's very cumbersome process. And so before you are sending your manuscript to any journal, you should always check their style. What is their format, what format they are following, so that while preparing the paper itself, you will prepare in that particular format. Okay, and there are nowadays tools also. We are having tools also who will help us to change these styles immediately. I think you might have heard of Mendeley. Mendeley is one tool. Mendeley is one tool. If you download the Mendeley, it is one link will be created in the word processor. Okay, you have to put all your papers which you have downloaded into Mendeley library. You have to copy and paste in Mendeley library. Then Mendeley, wherever you will in text, wherever you will give this citation, immediately Mendeley will add it into the reference. You don't need to add it into the reference, and it will add it into the reference as per the style you have chosen. So it's a very useful tool. Mendeley, you can write down Mendeley. It's a very useful tool which will help you to change the styles easily, and it can help you to include the bibliography in your manuscripts which you are writing. What you have to do, simply you have to write the reference, the citation in the text body. Immediately it will insert the reference at the end. So we'll move on to one more style, that's called the Chicago style. It's very old style. It was in 1906 first it was used. Okay, here we are going with the author date, author and the date of the paper published. Okay, and in Chicago style we can use footnotes also. Okay, in previous two styles, MLA and APA style, we are not using the footnotes. Okay, but in Chicago style they are allowing us to use the footnote also. You can see the Chicago style, its author names are there, then year of publication and the page only, and in the reference you are having authors, year of publication, the title, the edition, and the place of publisher. Okay. This is one important thing, one important one. Okay, I don't know whether you might have heard of this or not. IBID, IBID dot. It's not IBID only, it is IBID dot. Okay, it is actually the Latin word and it means the same place. Okay, I will give you an example. Since Chicago style is actually allowing us to give a reference in the footnote also. Okay, so IBID will help us. For example, if you are having, if you want to give a reference to particular page, like for page number 10, okay, and you are writing full reference in the bibliography. Now from the same page, you are taking another reference. Okay, so in this Chicago format, we are not writing the full bibliography again and again. If you are going to give a reference to a particular paper 5 times, we are not referring it 5 times. We will refer it only 1 time. But IBID dot will help us to write it in a particular format so that the person who is reading it will understand that this note has been taken from this particular paper and its page numbers. So I have added some examples over here how you are going to include the IBID dot. It is IBID dot, not IBID only. So if you are citing a paper from a particular page, you can write down in this example John Bright. Okay, you can write it down, full reference. But if you are going to refer from the same page again, one more paragraph or one more sentence you are using from the same page again, then in the second line you will write IBID dot only. It means the reference from the page number 60 itself. Okay, if you see the third one, IBID dot 65, it means reference from the same article but from the page number 65. So if you are referring any article like 10 times, you need not to write its reference 10 times. Simply you can write down the reference one single time, and then in the next line you will write IBID. IBID dot is for the same page. IBID dot, then the page number is for a different page, but from the same article. I hope you have understood this. If you have any question regarding this IBID dot, you can write it down. Later you can ask. This is an IEEE citation style. Here we will give the citations normally in the brackets. We don't need to write any author name, date and all. Simply we will give in brackets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And bibliography we will arrange in alphabetical order. And there also we will give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and full reference. In the body of the text, we won't give any author name, any publisher name, any page number and all. This is an example of IEEE citation style. For example, if I am saying end of the lines for my research, then I will write 13. Okay, so in the bibliography, 13 reference will be for this line only. Okay, so it's very easy, it's very short. IEEE, and you can include so many references also there. If you see the 4th point, several recent studies, 3, 4, 15, 22. It means all the references are saying this thing, have suggested that. Whatever suggestion is there, so it means it has been advocated by 3, 4, 15 and 22 reference. So those references will be given at the bottom, like 13 and 1 is there. So we will write it like this. And we will write the name of the journal in italic. So while writing, whether it's a literature review or any manuscript, you have to take care of citation styles also. So before starting writing any manuscript, you should check which journal you are going to target. Okay. To the publication. Okay, let me come to the publication part. Okay, only one slide is there. Okay. See, with respect to a journal, if you want to publish in a good journal, first of all, you have to search a journal. Then you have to check the themes of the journals. Okay, whether this journal is, whether you can follow its theme or not. Okay, whether your domain will come under that journal or not. Okay, if it is there, surely it is your journal. If you have selected now a particular journal, then you check the format of that journal, how to write the paper, mainly how to write actually the citations, which kind of citation style it is following. If it is following uh, MLA, Chicago, and any other style, okay, so from the beginning itself, you'll prepare yourself to write your manuscript in this kind of style. Okay, so you should check the theme of the journal also. So while writing the abstract, now we will talk about the manuscript. Okay, here I'm not talking about the literature review. Here I'm talking about your main manuscript. Okay, while writing the abstract, your abstract should contain these four things. Okay, if you are writing an abstract of 200 words, 250 words, your abstract should contain what actually is the problem. Okay, one or two lines. What is your objective? And the solution you gave, what kind of accuracy it got, and the summary or the finding. Okay, so all these four things should be available in your abstract, and your abstract should touch the theme of the journal. Okay, for example, if the journal is like mobile computing, mobile network, okay, in abstract, one word mobile should be available somewhere. Okay, similarly, you can check your areas of interest. You check, you try to find out some journal and check the themes of those journal, which is going to cover. You have to touch the theme of the journal in abstract itself. Why I'm saying all these things? Because in the peer-reviewed journals, first of all, editor-in-chief will be there. Okay, so first review will be based on that whether we should send this paper for review or not. Okay, whether we should send this paper for review or not. For that also the journal will take some time. Some journals will take 10 days, 20 days, 1 month to decide whether this paper should be sent for the next stage of review or not. Okay, so there itself processing will start. So what editor-in-chief will do, he won't read all of your paper, he won't read all of your manuscript, he simply will check the abstract, what is in the abstract. So he should get one idea what actually author want to say. So if your abstract is containing one problem over there, one objective over there, some solution and the findings, so easily any editor-in-chief can get an idea what actually author want to say. Then he will check whether it is touching my domain or not, my journal domain or not. If you have used few words where actually the journal theme you will touch, okay, surely there are 100% chances that this your paper will go for the next stage of the review stage. So before review stage, the higher authority will do a check on your abstract itself whether we should send it to the next stage or not. Okay, so if your papers are getting rejected at this stage itself, so you have to take care of the abstract first, title and abstract. Okay, so these four things you have to remember while writing the abstract. Abstract can be 200 words, 250 words, not more than that. Depend on the journal you are checking. You can check the journal, you can check your domain. And second thing is, if you want your paper to be published in a particular journal, like dream journals are there, you should try to give a citation to their papers also, the papers which has been published in that journal. Because why it is important? Because some editor-in-chiefs, they will check whether this manuscript has given citation to our papers or not. Why? Because it will give their journal a ranking. One ranking system is there. So they will check, okay, this manuscript has cited 2 of our papers. Okay, it's good for us. So it's a good thing for a journal. So that also you should do while writing a manuscript. If you are, that's why I told you, you have to target a journal at the beginning itself, and you have to download certain papers from that journal as per your manuscript and try to give a citation to those journals. Try to include those those articles in your paper. Give them citation. There are so many editor-in-chiefs, they will see this thing. They which I know, if you don't give citation, even if your paper is very good, they will reject it. Why? Because they want their journal to be ranked. So if you are not giving them, helping them in the ranking also, they'll reject your paper. They won't see then at the abstract also whether your abstract is good or bad. So it means giving citation is very important to that journal itself where you are sending your paper. Then you have to check whether you should go for a Scopus paper or Web of Science paper. Scopus is nothing, it's simply the Elsevier publisher is there. They have created one database where they will put your abstracts. So if anyone will search any paper in the world, so it will be going to this. It's actually a database, nothing else, a reservoir. And Scopus papers don't have impact factors. If anybody will ask you what is the impact factor of your paper and if your paper has been published in the Scopus, Scopus papers don't have impact factor. Okay. So Web of Science paper will be having impact factor. Okay. So the basic level of the Web of Science is ESCI, Expanded Science Citation Index, then SCIE, SCI, and SSCI. SSCI will they'll give for the social science papers, mostly social science papers, because these journals they'll go for blind peer reviews. Blind peer review means when you are sending your paper to a journal, they will remove the author name and everything affiliation there. Okay, now that paper is blind, nobody can see whose paper is this. If I am the reviewer, I am getting that paper. Okay, I cannot see whose paper is this. This is actually called the blind peer review. Okay, one is a normal peer review. Author's name will be there and everything. Okay, another is blind one. Author name will be removed from the paper itself. So the reviewer is getting simply a paper only. He don't know the author or the affiliation of that particular manuscript. Who is the author of this paper? He don't know because it has been removed, and that's a blind peer review journal. So these journals are mostly blind peer review journals, and that they are having good impact factors. People are citing these paper from these journals. They are citing more papers from these journals. They are downloading more papers from these journals. More the impact factor, more good your resume will be tomorrow. Anyway, you are going for a job after completing your PhD. If you are having good publications, even if it is less, but if it is in a good journal, you are having a weightage. I can see you like this: 2 to 3 Scopus journals is equivalent to 1 SCI journal. Okay, so if you start writing good papers, okay, don't you should not think that this person has written 4 to 5 papers. I have written only one. But if your paper is having impact factor, if it is SSCI, SCI paper, you are having more weightage than. Okay. So these are few tricks. These are few suggestions for targeting a journal for your manuscript publication. Now coming to the part of the plagiarism. This is very, very, you have to be very careful about the plagiarism. Plagiarism means kidnapping. If you are kidnapping somebody's idea, whether knowingly and unknowingly, now there are laws for it. Okay, so they won't see whether you have done it knowingly or unknowingly. You cannot prove that you have done it unknowingly. Nobody can prove you have done it unknowingly. It's very difficult to prove. Even if you are innocent, you don't know, but still you cannot prove it. It is actually the act of stealing someone's work, and you are going to pass it on as if you have done this work. You are going to show the world that this work is done by me. Okay. So all published and unpublished material in electronic form. Okay. So it comes under, but it comes under copyright infringement. For example, if you are taking my idea, I have already published that idea and you are also using the same. If I will come to know about this thing, I can file a case against you. If you are working there, university will take action against you. Why? Because now there are laws. UGC has permitted the university to take the action. Okay, and I have seen so many vice chancellors and so many professors being thrown away from their chairs. And recently, just last week itself, DRDO, Department of Defense, okay, one person has checked their papers and he found out that almost 80 papers are republished. It was not a new work. It was already published and it was published again. So immediately the next day the inquiry was started. Okay, this is the condition of your DRDO. And if you think that you will take one paper in the Chinese language, you will convert it into English, again it's a plagiarism. Though there won't be any similarity check between the English and the Chinese, okay, words won't match. If you are having English words and Chinese words, it won't match. But if your words are saying same thing that which those Chinese words are saying, again it is a plagiarism. So you cannot translate or paraphrase something simply and saying that it is yours own. I'll skip some of the slides. See, I'll tell you actually what is the correct one. Okay. See, you see what is the plagiarism of words. So when you are using the exact words which others have said, okay. See, plagiarism is the production of someone else's work, idea, or something and findings and presenting them as their own and without proper acknowledgement. Acknowledgement means giving citation. Okay. So here you see the correct one. How we can write this paragraph. Plagiarism is the double quotes. Normally, you English people, you might be using the quotations. Okay. In quotations, you will be using the same words without any change. If you are not using the quotation, you cannot write same sentence, same words. You have to write it in your own words. But again, at the end, you have to write, I have taken it from this undergraduate course handbook. Book was published in 2008 and the page number is 24. Okay. If you want to use the same words, you don't want to change the meaning of those words, you can put it in double quotes. Mostly people from English, they'll be doing this in their thesis and all. So they won't be changing the sentence. There are some situations where you don't need to change the sentences. You have to keep them as such, but you have to give a quotation mark and with the citation itself. Now, if you want to remove the quotation marks, you have to rewrite the sentence. You rephrase the sentence and also you have to give the citation also. Now you see the plagiarism of the structure also. Earlier it was like the plagiarism of words. Now it is the plagiarism of structure also. If you see here, keep calm and carry on. Okay. So it's a kind of a message. Now another one has given the same message. He has changed the words only. Stay relaxed and keep going. Again, it is saying the same thing. So this is the plagiarism of the structure. Even if you are changing the words also, but the structure will remain same. So it's a plagiarism of structure. Then there's a plagiarism of ideas. You are doing little modification without giving the credit. Credit simply means giving the citations. Plagiarism of authorship is there. There is one more thing that's called self-plagiarism. See, I told you unintentional plagiarism is also there. You don't know that I have written this paragraph and it was written somewhere else. But you cannot prove it. You cannot prove yourself. You are innocent, but you cannot prove. Another thing is plagiarism of self. For example, if you have published one of your papers and you are using again same material you are using with little modification in another paper and you are going to publish that another second paper of yours with the previous material also. That is actually the self-plagiarism. If you want to do that, if you want to use the text or any material from your previous paper, you have to give a citation to your paper also. You have to write your paper in the references also. That I have taken this idea from this paper. It is my own paper also. Even if it is your own paper, you have to cite it. So if you won't cite it, this is called self-plagiarism. If you are citing it, that citation is called self-citation. If I will cite your paper, that won't be called as a self-citation. If I am citing my own paper, that's called self-citation. Self-citation is okay. But if I am quoting my work without giving citation to my paper itself, that is again a plagiarism of self. That's called self-plagiarism. Now let me tell you what are all the UGC rules with respect to UGC saying that your manuscript and your thesis, either your manuscript or your thesis, it should have a similarity of index. Similarity means same words which are in your thesis and those words are found out over the internet. Okay, the similarity percentage should be maximum 10. not more than 10. Then only your thesis or your paper will be accepted. Then only they'll say it is yours. If your similarity is between 10 to 40%, okay, your paper will be rejected. You will be asked to, this is actually for the scholars, okay, you'll be asked to send this paper after 6 months. If your plagiarism percentage, similarity percentage is 40 to 60%, you will be asked to revise the script for a period of 1 year. You won't be able to submit that. And if your plagiarism percentage is more than 60, your registration can get cancelled. Now, coming to the second part, where we are having where penalty is for the supervisors also. Okay, penalties for supervisors also, like 10 to 40%, 40 to 60, and above 60. Okay, if you see, if the similarity is between 40 to 60%, manuscript will be withdrawn. He won't be given, and he or she won't get the annual increment, and he or she won't be taking any scholars for a period of 2 years. And if the similarity of your student, if you are a supervisor, your student paper is having more than 60% plagiarism, the registration of the student will be cancelled. Okay, and but you as a professor will not be allowed to supervise for another 3 years, and no annual increment for two successive annual increments won't be given to you for 2 years. This is for the supervisors. So before writing any manuscript or any literature survey or a literature review, anything, so you take care of plagiarism. So what are the risks which are involved in the plagiarism? Your reputation will be spoiled. Okay, scholar reputation, supervisor reputation. You don't have a self confidence. Okay, you won't get concepts, and all your grades will be low. Institution reputation. Okay, if anybody will send a letter to the institution that this person is involved in plagiarism, okay, your institution he can expel you. I already told you what are all the UGC guidelines. Your dissertation won't be accepted. Professors may lose their jobs also. How we can avoid the plagiarism? I'm having one more presentation for it. Okay, you just wait 2 minutes. So how we can avoid the plagiarism? The best way is you have to be honest. While writing the things which are your own, you can write them. The things which you have taken from others, you have to acknowledge them, you have to cite them, you have to give them citation. Okay. If it is your work, you show it is your work. How you can prove it is your work? I already told you, you have to give justification to your work with the help of the literature review. Okay, if you are writing a manuscript, in manuscript after introduction, you are writing the literature. So if you are going with any problem statement, you try to prove that it is actually a problem through literature review. You will give the quotation, you will give the citation to the proper sources. Okay, and you will be using all these MLAs and all. Okay, I'll directly tell you actually how plagiarism you can check. Okay, there is one software called that's a Turnitin. Okay, if you are going with the online softwares, maybe those softwares will deceive you. Okay, you won't get the proper information from those softwares. Okay, you should not believe, because this is a paid version of Turnitin, a licensed version. It's a commercial software. It was launched in 1997. Okay, so it will be choosing the this. It will be checking your manuscript for similarity check online. Okay, it will check the student papers. It will check the databases. It will check the Turnitin database itself. From 3 to 4 sources, it will check the papers. So let me show you actually how plagiarism paper will look like and how it is showing you, so that you may understand what actually is similarity index. We are going to upload our manuscript for checking the plagiarism. Can anybody tell me which page you are seeing right now? Whether it is login or quick submit?
Sir, login.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. So this is the page where you are going to upload your documents. So you will include your name, you will include the title, and you will choose your manuscript from the Google Drive, from Dropbox, or from your computer. Then at the bottom there is a this button, upload button. You will upload it. Okay. So it will look like this. Now it is uploading. It is showing it is uploading. Once it is uploaded, where you are seeing this small circle, your paper will be shown over there. Then you will press the confirm button. Okay, your paper will be shown over there. Then you will see you can see the paper over there. Now it has been uploaded. Now you have to press the confirm. Now if you see the details over here, author is there, this is submission paper, and file size, page count, how many words are there, how many characters are there, because Turnitin is working on the character count, word count, actually word. Now one ID has been given. If you see at the bottom, one submission ID has been given to each and every paper. Okay, I'll tell you why this submission ID is very, very important. Now I have submitted this paper to the Turnitin. Now the Turnitin is checking. See, nothing is over there. In similarity, there is no figure over there. Rest of the papers you can see 7%, 11%, 12%, 13%. For your paper, it is checking. So it means it is checking. We have to wait for some time. Okay. Now you see your paper is 99% plagiarized. See, Daniel Joy, paper 99%. So it is red alert. So it means 99% similarity. So I'll show you now actually what similarity is. Few more minutes, you bear with me. I know you are hungry, you want to go for dinner. Just few more minutes. See, if any paper is similarity here, while showing the similarity, the software will highlight your data. All this portion is highlighted. Wherever you will see the highlighted portion, it means it is similar to the sources which are available over the internet or in databases. You can see on the right hand side also, it is giving you the percentage also. You can see introduction is there. So it is highlighted. Highlighted portion means it's already available as such. Full paragraph is already available on the net. So it means this paragraph is not your own. You have simply copied and you have pasted it. This is similarity, how it is checking. The text which will be plain, white in color, black and white, it means that text is your own text. It doesn't have any similarity. 1 second, I'll show you. Here, similarity you will get like this. Similarity indexed. It won't show plagiarism. It won't tell the plagiarism. It will show a similarity. So internet sources are 99% sources. Publication sources are 77. Student papers are 66. So overall, the similarity is. If you see at the bottom, okay, excluded quote or exclude bibliography, exclude match. If your paper contain bibliography, okay, you can exclude that. So when we exclude that, here it will show bibliography on. So if we on the bibliography, some of the percentage, because references will be similar, we cannot change them. So that is why we are having the option with the software itself. exclude the bibliography. So do not count the bibliography in this similarity check. So here I have kept it off. That's why it is showing this much 99%. So if I kept exclude bibliography on, references won't be counted in similarity index. So maybe your similarity index will be little bit less. Then exclude quotes. The quotation marks, if you have written in your text, if I keep it on, so it means those quotations also won't come in the similarity. So again, some percentage will get down. Then the excluded matches. As per the UGC, consecutive 14 words, 14 words can be excluded. So these three settings are there which you can exclude from your paper. Okay. After excluding these three, your similarity may get little bit decreased. I can show you here. You can see on the right hand side, it is shown exclude quotes. There is no check mark. If I check it, quotations won't be included. If I exclude bibliography, it won't be counted. If I say percentage or less than words, 14 words, if I put 14 consecutive words, won't be counted in the similarity check. Now here you can see in this next slide, here I have excluded. Tick mark is there, and I have excluded 1%. Wherever there is 1% similarity, you don't count that. Now you can see the similarity has been reduced to 74. Okay, earlier it was 99. Now after excluding the bibliography and after excluding the quotation marks, after excluding 14 consecutive words or less than 1%, now it is 74. So it means now total you cannot reduce it. Okay, so these are the three things which are valid. So we have done it. So now your paper is having 74%. So as per the UGC, if you publish this kind of paper, your registration will be cancelled. See, this is one more paper. We have checked this paper and it is showing the similarity of 8%. Wait few more seconds, it will come onto your screen here now. See, this is the paper, a framework for hybrid search engine for recommending relevant document links. So I have checked it, it is showing 8%. So it is valid paper. You can send it, you can keep this report with you and you can send it. Nobody will question you. So here I'll stop my presentation. If anybody is having any question, you please feel free to ask because it's a very sensitive issue. So I'm expecting more questions over here. Yes.
Sir, if the topic is
yes,
topic related, yes, sir. Sir, if the topic is topic related article and journal is not so much, then what is the technique to go through the review of literature, sir?
You are saying you want to send like any article to that journal, but that journal is not related to your domain. You want to say this or?
Yes, sir.
Can you repeat your question, ma'am?
The topic related. Yeah, yes, sir. If the topic related article and journal is not so much published, then what is the technique and procedure to we conduct our review of literature?
Madam, yes, okay. See, for example, you want to write a literature review. You want to write a literature review. For that, it is not necessary where from you are getting information. Main thing is whether the information, whether the article is related to the problem which you are searching. It's not necessary that time that the journal
Yes.
should be the same. While you are collecting the material, that time you should talk about the
Yes, sir.
material only, not the material. So if material is giving you enough of information, it means it is relevant to you. That time you are not seeing
Okay,
the
sir.
journal. Journal you have to see while you are publishing your work. While
Okay.
publishing, you have to send it to the relevant journals.
Okay, sir. Okay, okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Any other question? Yes, Rupa ma'am.
Hello, sir.
Sir,
Hello, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Sir,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
want
You
to
are
ask.
audible.
There is a this is according to my idea, we are having two software, one Urkund and one this next one is showing that Ternity, and one is there for
Oh,
grammatical check that Kilbit something that software. Do you know, sir, कि,
Grammarly.
exactly
Grammarly.
what? Yeah, Grammarly. Yeah, Kilbit software is there, I think. So, do you have
Okay.
idea about that? What particular what soft means that particular software? What the things doing particularly means exactly what the role
Madam,
that software
okay,
is
okay.
playing.
Okay. Madam, you are talking about Urkund. Okay. I should tell you that you should not rely on Urkund. Okay, because I have already checked and I have already seen the results. If in
Sir,
Urkund
many
you are checking your
universities,
manuscript,
sir,
let
actually the
me
many
finish. Let me
universities
finish,
is
ma'am.
following that Urkund only.
I know, madam. Because people don't know the technical things. So since I am from the technical background, so I'll tell you the difference. Uh, if you see the Urkund, you go and check of your paper in the Urkund. It is showing you like it will similarity. Okay. Now you check the same paper in the Turnitin. Turnitin will show you 30% of the similarity. Okay.
Okay.
It means you should not rely on Urkund more. If Turnitin is allowing you to correct your paper more, so you should correct it. So it means if you are checking in Turnitin, it is showing 10%, Urkund will show 0%.
Oh, that's
So
okay.
yes, Urkund will show you less because it's depend on its capacity. It's not catching the similarity over the internet. And Turnitin is checking from so many databases. That's why it is able to check more similarity as compared to Urkund. So Urkund 10% is Turnitin's 30%. So if you are getting 30%, you can still correct your paper and you can be on the safer side. For example, if you have published your paper through Urkund, now I am checking your paper, I will check the plagiarism. It is showing 30%, but as per you, Urkund is showing you 10%. I can file a case against you that you have done plagiarism.
And sir, one more
So
thing I
better
want
is
to
to be,
clear that
yes. Okay, ma'am.
yes, now I understand that ki what is the difference between Urkund and Ternity. Now my second question is this ki sir, someone is telling ki 0% plagiarism is not valid. Means minimum you have to 1% there should be a plagiarism in thesis or research paper. Is it true? Because I am so confused about this.
First of all, you won't get 0% plagiarism.
Yeah, that's
So there should
matters,
not
sir.
be any
But
confusion.
if actually
No,
what the
even if
thing is
now
happening,
for the sake,
Kana,
madam, now okay, ma'am, for the sake of the
okay, sir.
argument, for the sake of the
Mhm.
argument, if you are getting 0% plagiarism, who is giving you that plagiarism report?
Actually,
Where
sir,
is
this
valid one?
happened with
So
me.
it's not
Actually,
your
one of my
mistake.
friends, one.
No, actually, just let me explain, sir. Then you can tell me. Just because the
Okay.
one friend, one of my friend, that he got 0% plagiarism, and one university rejected that. Ki how you can have 0% plagiarism? But actually, he was done his thesis in Gujarati medium, and he converted that language in English medium. So that's why he got zero plagiarism. So is it means valuable or not? I want to clear this because most
Madam,
of the
which language
process
it
is
was
in,
written?
if you are, it was written in Gujarati and converted in English.
That is what I show you, madam. Na, madam, if you remember, I showed you one Chinese language, and I said if you translate the same thing over here, it won't show the plagiarism. But again, if anybody will come to know that you have this is actually the paper in Chinese and you have only converted it, again it is a plagiarism only. That is a secondary question if that person will be caught or not. But it is a plagiarism. There is one thing called the ethics. So every research scholar should follow the ethics. Now even UGC has introduced one publication and ethics 2 credit coursework. So every scholar has to go through that
Okay.
coursework.
Okay. Thank you
That
so
is
much.
why I have shown that one diagram that if there is any Chinese paper, if it is being converted into English, naturally there won't be any plagiarism. But if it is getting caught, if that person is getting caught, he has to face the consequences. And it's not necessary that if you are having a, for example, it is your own paper. If it is having a 0% plagiarism, it is correct. There is no issue in that because you are not checking yourself plagiarism. You are giving it to the software. You are dependent on the software. If a software is not able to crack it, so it's not your mistake. But if the software is more valid, I told you the Urkund will show you 10%, but the Turnitin will tell you 30 to 35%. So Turnitin is
Okay. Thank you
catching
so
more.
much, sir.
Okay, it is attracting more. It is searching more. It is searching more. That is not your problem, ma'am. If it is a conversion from Gujarati to English, surely it will come under plagiarism.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, Parveen, ma'am, you are having one
Hello,
more
good evening,
question.
sir.
Good evening, my sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, tell
May
me,
I
sir.
ask question? Yeah, sir.
Yes,
First of
yes,
all, I
please.
would like to thank you for this knowledgeable session and covering all the aspects related to the plagiarism and research. So, my first question is that general knowledge actually need not to be cited, and general knowledge and research of somebody. How to distinguish between the two? This is the first question. Secondly, we see that there are a lot of paraphrasing tools, software or tools, which are used by the scholars. So, is it a wrong practice to use these paraphrasing tools because the aim of paraphrasing is to understand a particular text and write from your own, in your own words, sir?
Yes, sir. Sir, first question I didn't understand. Second question I'll answer you first. For paraphrasing, I already told you if you are going for the quotation, so you need not to change. You keep it within the quote. And already I have shown in the Turnitin also, there is one filter over there, exclude quotations. So it won't come under similarity if you are writing it in double quotations and giving citations also. And now there are some paraphrasing tools also. Even if you are paraphrasing the sentence, if you are paraphrasing the sentence, you have to give due credit to the author of that paper.
But
Now coming to the
using
practice, whether it
paraphrasing
is a
tools,
good practice.
yes.
Sir. Now whether it is a good practice or not, it depends on the knowledge of the person also. While actually when people start writing, they don't know how to write and what to write. They are being forced. Nowadays people are being forced to write, to publish the papers. They'll be given the deadlines you have to publish it. So if a person don't have that much of knowledge in English or in any particular language, so they are being forced to do the paraphrasing. For example, if I am preparing one paraphrasing tool, I am running my own shop. I am not care about what other people are doing, whether it is good for them or bad for them. So that is why UGC has introduced one publication and ethics course. Nowadays it is mandatory for every scholar to go through that 2 credit course. Earlier it was research methodology only. Nowadays 2 credit course related to publication and ethics. So where they will learn all these things. They should know what actually they are doing. So if they are good enough in writing, they'll do it. I think more than 90% of the scholars are doing paraphrasing only. They have no other choice. But we can't say it is a good practice. Sir, what was your first question, sir? You said some journal knowledge. I
Sir,
didn't get
it
that.
was just general knowledge actually need not to be cited. That is understood. But
Can
it is
you
very
give any
difficult
example,
to
sir?
distinguish between the general knowledge and somebody's research or somebody's idea. It is very difficult to distinguish. So, what's your saying on this?
General knowledge is like general knowledge is like gravity is there. It is general knowledge. We can say gravity. We can use the gravity word. We did not to tell. It is a universal truth. It's a general knowledge. But if somebody has written any paper and he is declaring that this is his own idea, he has written it, we are forced to give due credit to that particular person. Because we don't know whether it is his novel idea or he has taken. Who will know that? So we have to, since we are in this world right now, we are in India, we are following UGC guidelines. If you go outside India, there are no such rules. But this is a good practice from the UGC. At least now people are publishing good research. Any other question? People who have written in comments, there is provision for individual subscription. Yeah, you can take an student version of a Turnitin from their website. You have to pay like $5 or $10 like that. You can use the service for a limited period of time. Hindi language papers. Shala Vasudeva, Hindi language papers. Actually, I didn't try Hindi language papers, but I think surely it will catch it. If words are available, it's not possible them to skip. For internet, internet. It's not possible. He'll skip those things. But surely I will try it. I'll try some other language paper also. Since this workshop is going on for another 2 days, tomorrow inshallah I'll check some Urdu or Hindi paper. I will check and I can send it to the organizers. So anyway, you are joining tomorrow also. I will send it to Dr. Joyson sir. So he will let you know tomorrow. So a good question. I'll try it tomorrow. Surely it will. As far as technical things are concerned, it will catch. It cannot skip. Hindi language papers also will be checked. If it is available online, surely it can be tracked. If it is not available, it cannot be. Even if it is a copy paste or if it is a stolen thing, unless and until it is present online, we can catch it. If it is not available online, we cannot catch it. It's like if a thief is underground, he is not on internet, so we cannot catch him. Only the known persons. For example, I know this research work has been done by someone else. That the experts of that field, if they are checking that like Hindi papers or Hindi thesis, so surely they might be knowing what actually this person is saying, whether it has been said by anybody else or not. So as far as softwares are concerned, if it is available on the internet, we can catch. Otherwise, it will skip. Any other question? Parveen man, we were having some one more question. You are having any other question?
No, sir.
Okay, okay. I don't think there is any more questions now. So thank you, participants. Okay, thank you for making this session wonderful. Okay, thank you for your patience also.